that we have today. Like, this is the first real piece of Gemara, and it's cute, it's nice, it's bite-sized. I'm very excited for it. We started paving the way for it yesterday. I want to kind of continue that a little bit today. I'll confess, what my Yitzhara wants to do is to say it over like Jeff Yomi would say it over, and then do it again like how I'm planning on doing it, just so you can appreciate like what I'm trying to do. But I'm not going to do it. You might want to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I hope, even though I don't know if you won't see what it would have been like if I wouldn't have done this way, I hope at least you'll appreciate that. When it's done, you'll appreciate like what clarity better than otherwise. So, okay. Again, we're holding the daf test and we're not left. Go ahead.
Padowitz?
No, yeah.
Is it possible to maybe review just a little bit?
Yeah, don't worry, yeah.
Yeah, like from the two dots on line 12.
Line 12.
Yeah. It's not.
Let's leave that to the end if we have time. Okay. I only want to do this one little piece today, and then after that I'll take as many questions and go back as much as possible. I don't want to be rushed to this piece. So my goal for today is just to cover from line, it's called 24, to line, the dot there on line 40. If we get that, that's all I want to do today, and then we'll have time for that. So, this, like I said, it's a great little self-contained sugya. It's very nice, and I want to make sure that it's perfectly crystal clear. It's not difficult, but it's not difficult, but it is complex, meaning there are a lot of moving parts. So I want to make it clear. So the first thing, let me actually say over the structure. We did enough paving the ground yesterday. Let me tell you what's going to happen. I'll tell you what's going to happen, and then I'll give you a preview. Then I'll build a foundational information. Then we'll see it inside. This is what's going to happen. Our Mishnah says that the rabbis said you have, really they agree you have the whole night say Kriya Shema of the evening, but they made it din d'Rabbanan to say by chatzos to protect people from missing the deadline. And then the Mishnah said, well, not only that, but there are other mitzvahs in the Torah where you have the whole night, but the rabbis just cut it short. What's the list of mitzvahs you have all night to do? Well, they are the burning of the fat in the limbs. Aside from the Kriya Shema, there's the burning of the fat in the limbs, and there's everything that should be eaten in one night. And in all cases, let's assume those are all explicit. I'm not going to do that topic now. So that's the list of things that have you a whole night to do, and yet the rabbis made the time earlier, so people should not do so. So the Gemara here is going to be bothered by another brisa. There's a brisa flowing around, we'll see everything inside, which says on the list of mitzvahs that must be done all in one night, by the break of dawn, by Los HaShachar, Amud HaShachar, is the eating of the Korban Pesach. And if that's true, so then why did our Mishnah mention the Korban Pesach? That's its kasha. And the teretz will be, well, there are two Tanaim. There's a Machlokas Tanaim over whether the Korban Pesach Takeh is a mitzvah midoraisa the whole night, or only till Chatzos half the night. Our resolution will be, our Mishnah goes like Rabbi Elazar Mazaria, who holds that the Korban Pesach is just until midnight, and therefore didn't mention it, because it doesn't belong on the list of things you have the whole night to do. Whereas Rabbi Akiva altered the brisa, and he said you have the whole night, and therefore, since he holds you have the whole night, so therefore he mentions in the brisa that the Korban Pesach is till the morning. Now, I mean, that's the answer. And like the story's over. But then the Gemara wants to understand, it's like a little more involved than it's in the brisa itself. But anyways, we try to unpack the machlokas between Rabbi Elazar Mazaria and Rabbi Akiva, like why they arguing over the deadline for the Korban Pesach. Why does one say it's midnight and one say it's till the morning? And they're going to start bringing drushes based on psukim, and how it always works with this is, Mr. Shita A will say, well, I see from this pasuk that it tells me that the din is such, is this way. So then you'll always say, well, Mr. B, what do you do with that pasuk? He says, oh, I do it for something else. And they'll say, well, once he has that, what does Mr. A do about that? And they have to reconcile until everything has to be squared away, that all the drushes and all the implications need to be squared away so that each, this is the name of the game in the Machlokas game, is that everyone has to be internally consistent. Because we can live with there being machlokas in the din between Rabbi Elazar and Azariah and Rabbi Akiva. What we can't live with is that there's loose ends, like Rabbi Akiva sticks to his guns, yet he has loose ends in terms of how to explain a Pesach way or Rabbi Elazar and Azariah. So that's how the sugya goes. Again, based on our Mishnah, why does the Brachos contradict it? Talk about a whole night for the eating of the Korban Pesach, and then we say it's machlokas, and we work out their shittas. Fine. That's a sugya. So the background of the sugya is, and to understand the assumptions that's going on here, is the Korban Pesach is a korban, and we said there are 8 kinds of korbanos. I want to review this. It's important to understand the kasha of the Gemara a little bit. There are 8 kinds of zvachim. Korbanos come in 2 varieties in the animal and plant kingdom, and amongst the animal kingdom there is zvachim, which are behemoths, cows, goats, and sheep that are slaughtered. Zevach. There's also birds. I'm not talking birds, I'm talking plants. I'm talking zvachim animals. Animal korbanos come in 8 varieties. We said them yesterday. Okay, we said them yesterday. Through one out. I did one. So, you know what they are? Let's go listen out again. Same as fast as I can write them. Or try to anyways. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm open. Throw them out there. Achatas. What else? Ola. Asham. Shamim. Toda. Excellent.
Shlamim.
Pesach. Shlamim. Good. What else? There's 2 more. The hard.
Chagiga.
The Chor and the Meiser. And the Chagiga is a kind of Shlamim. So it's Shalmei Chagiga. Okay, there are a few little weird. There are some weird things. The Nazir has a korban, whatever. But this is 8. This is the 8 categories. And we said that this dashed line over here divides between these 3, which are called Kachim, the more holy. These are Kachim Kalim, the less. Fine. The difference between these 2 categories are really 3 in terms of categorical differences. It has to do with who can eat it, where it can be eaten, and it's certain din of Me'ilah. I don't want to get confused by all the details here. But the general gist is, these are for Kohanim, these are for essentially everybody or whatever. Yeah? This has to be eaten inside the Chatzer, this can be eaten anywhere in Jerusalem, and it's the din of Me'ilah in terms of, which I don't get now, too complicated. But there's also a general rule, which is, it's just a general rule, which is that these ones must be eaten in 1 day, or these can be eaten in 2 days. That's the general rule. Now, when I say 1 day and 2 days, what do I mean? Here's our timeline again. Time moving this way today. So we said, this is the hakrava, the offering, sometime during the day. All animals are offered during the daytime. So that you eat it starting from here. This will be the end of the day. Okay, the 3 stars are coming. That's the end of the day. And then you have the whole night until morning. Alos HaShachar, we'll call that, here comes the...
Where's midnight?
Here comes the sun. It's midnight. That's out. Okay? And then, so, this is called this, the one is offered, and the rest of the day until nightfall, and the rest of the night until Alos HaShachar. It's called 1 day. Alos HaShachar. It's in the pen here soon. This guy over here, it's called 1 day. Again, and I spoke out the strangeness of that normally days start at the nighttime, but here in Korbanos, we see once again the basic the day starts with the daytime. So it's called 1 day, it means a day and a night. Okay? It's only partial day really, from whenever it's offered, sometime during the day, not sunrise over here, let's say.
How early can it be offered?
It can anytime. The answer to the question is anytime after the korban, the tamid shel shachar has been offered, then anything can happen. That basically happens at sunrise or whatever, soon thereafter. Can happen from sunrise. So it can be early in the morning. Okay, that's 1 day, and then you have the whole so therefore, the animals that can be eaten in 1 day, which are the chatas is 1 day, the asham is 1 day. the total does 1 day. So those guys, this is the time frame. From when it's offered until the sunrise. With the Rabbanan, we'll have a chatzos break. The other ones are eaten, all is not eaten, all is burned, irrelevant. Okay? Other guys are eaten, this is 2 days. The shlamim, the bechor, is 2 days. The meiser is 2 days. Okay? And that 2 days means that this was day 1. Day 2 goes for the rest of the day until the stars come for the second time, if you will. Okay, the stars come in again. And then that's going to be called. And this is day 2.
End of the first day is also when the stars come out.
Yes, the stars come out for the first time. No, in fact, I said not. The stars coming out in the middle of the first day. In other words, let me clarify what I mean. When we say of 1 day, we mean the rest of the day and the subsequent night. That's called 1 day. Even though this is. If we let's offer it right now,
okay,
Monday afternoon.
Okay.
So this is Monday morning.
I got it.
So and today's Yom Sheni. So Yom Sheni ends over here. Here begins Yom Shlishi, right? But you have the rest of the day of Yom Sheni
Right.
and the night of Yom Shlishi until daybreak tomorrow morning to eat your chatas.
Until Olos HaShachar.
Alos HaShachar, right? Alos HaShachar. I keep on calling it Alos HaShachar because that's like if you look in like Shulchan Aruch stuff, they talk in that term. But the Mishnah talks it as Amud HaShachar. Let's assume they're the same thing. This is the fine assumption. So the second day is this period over here. It's half the day, really, if you will. So we'll call it day 2. With me? Cool. Everything.
Pesach is 1
Now the
day.
Pesach
after you
is different. The Pesach is different. And that's essential to understand the Gemara's kasha. Because the Gemara, the Mishnah said the list of mitzvahs. The Mishnah said the list of mitzvahs that you have till the end of the night midoraisa to do are the Kriya Shema, not a topic any moment, the burning of the fats and limbs. So limbs is referring to the ola. The fats is referring to all these animals have the, I say fats, whatever it's Ivarim Pedarim Lashon, right? Ivarim Chalavam Ivarim Chalavam. So Chalev is the fats. It means all of the Ivarim that are offered to be burned that night. And sorry, I'm confused. It's Kriya Shema, it's the burning of the fats and limbs. Hold on one thing for a second. And all the animals that must be eaten in 1 day, which means this guy, and this guy. There's no mention of the shlamim before the meiser because they're eaten in 2 days, and their deadline is nightfall of day 2. So this is
That's really 2.5 days.
1.5 days.
If day 1 ends with Olos HaShachar,
This gosh is a dead end. Whatever words are,
then day 2 should also end with Olos
So it
HaShachar.
doesn't. Just 'cause they're-
So it's another half a day. It's 2.5 days.
No, 1.5 days.
1 day.
Oh, it's just on
Let's go.
the 3 stars of that day.
Yeah, let's go through it one time together. We're marking our shlamim right now on Monday at 11 whatever time it is,
Right.
11:15. So now we can eat it the rest of today, Yom Sheni.
Right.
When the stars come out, we're now beginning Yom Shlishi. It's still called day 1. In terms of if it had been a chatas and we're kohanim, it'd be called day 1, and we can eat it the rest of the night until the morning. So even though we can eat it until dawn of Yom Shlishi, that's called day 1. Even though it's spanning over, this is Yom Sheni, this is Yom Shlishi, in terms of like the calendar, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so to speak. Then day 2 begins. Day 2 of the clock for eating kachim begins at the break of dawn on Yom Shlishi, meaning on Tuesday morning, and it ends at the end of Yom. At the Tzeitzei Kochim on Tuesday. I realize that.
So it's really more like 1.5 days.
This is 1 full day, and this is a half. It's not even half a day. It's what's left of the daytime hours.
The Hakrava can begin right up until
You can be makir for korbanos in general anytime between the two tamidim. So the korban tamid shel shachar, because those are almost they're perfect. But after you bring the daily offering, the tamid shel shachar, so then anything goes. So that could be, for argument's sake, you can do it right at sunrise and work very fast, and 10 minutes later you can have offered your shlomim.
Like up until
the tamid shel bein arbaim, until the afternoon, till the last the tamid shel bein arbaim, which is the afternoon daily offering. I'm saying that because it's the time normally that was offered, but we call mincha katana, like 9.5 hours. That was the normal thing to happen. They pushed it back earlier sometimes if Pesach was coming. They had to do because the korban, an exception. Pesach is exceptional in many ways. The korban Pesach is offered on the 14th of Nisan after the tamid is offered. That's a little weird.
After the second time.
The second time, yeah. So that's unusual. But everything else is offered between the two tamidim. So between, so to speak, between 6 a.m. in the morning when the first is offered, if you know what I mean, till like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Why is the second time so early in the day?
They did.
Mincha Katana is not, still leaves you a lot of time afterwards.
That's what they did. They shechted it. Then they had to still process it. Remember, they shechted it at mincha katana time, the 9.5 hours. The truth is, but they had to then flay it and dissect it and burn it, salt it, blah blah. So that would take an extra hour.
So they closed the store, but they carried on working.
Well, yeah, and then I guess that's the picture. They want it to get burned. They want everything to get burned. They want to wipe things down. But anyway, that's the gist of how it would work normally. In any case, so in hours, maybe that's the most intuitive way to do it. Just to wrap up your point here. This, so to speak, is somewhere between. This is less than 12 hours. Understand? It's from when you offer it something like, and then this over here is 24 hours. So at most, 2-day korban, you're only eating over fewer than 36 hours. You follow?
Yeah.
Right? And if it's a 1-day korban like a chatos or asham, you're getting this is 12 hours. So you're actually right. Again, I'm assuming that the night they are equal length, which is fine for us purposes. So then you have less than 24 hours. Okay. Okay. So when the Mishnah says, this is the springboard of the conversation. The Mishnah says all that's eaten in one day, all the ones that are eaten in one day, those you have till the morning. That's a reference to the chatas, the asham, and the toda. It's not a mention to the Pesach. Because the Pesach, when is the window for eating Pesach? It only starts, you're makrivit on Yudalid, in Pesach territory. This has become Yudalid. The 14th. But you cannot eat it here. You must eat it at Leil Seder. So you only start eating here. Right? This is Tezvav, the 15th, Seder night. That's when you can start eating your korban Pesach. So therefore, when the Mishnah says all that's eaten in one day, that doesn't include a korban Pesach, because korban Pesach is eaten in less than 1 day. So the assumption,
and not during the day.
Sorry?
And not during the day.
And not during the day. It only starts from nightfall, and we're going to have a machlokas here. Our Mishnah makes a mention of it. A brisa will see. I have to have another color. I don't really. So our Mishnah seems. A brisa says explicitly of the whole night. So the brisa will say this. That's okay. You can read this, right? Or no, you can't.
Not really.
It's visible? It's surprisingly bright on you. Okay, fine. The brisa says the korban Pesach you have. Here's the brisa. This will be really key when you're done with it. And the Mishnah goes like Rav Elazar Nazaria that you only have to lechatzos midoraisa. This is our Mishnah, implicit in our Mishnah. This is Rabbi. That's where we're headed with this. Okay? Good? So now, to understand what's going on next in terms of
Let's say you don't finish eating it. Okay, so it has to be burnt. But you can't burn it until
This is a technical issue of not burning on Yom Tov. Is that what you're asking? We won't burn it because we're not going to burn Kachim on Yom Tov. We'll wait till after Yom Tov. We'll wait till Chol Moed to do it.
I mean, originally you would have been, Deriving you would have been able to eat it until Rosh Hashanah.
It's a machlokas. It's a machlokas.
Right. So
this is the Dorai machlok and what the Din Dorai is. Midrabanan we're all agreeing fucking past here. I'm not even sure that's even true. But the machlok is Midoraisa for sure these are the time frames. That's your question?
it sort of seems to me that you didn't finish it by midnight. Okay, no, 3 minutes after midnight you go ahead and just burn it. But you can't.
You can't because it's Yom Tov.
Right.
Right. But burning is an unrelated, it's not directly related to this issue.
It's just a technical issue that you can't do it, so you have to wait.
Right. But what the time for burning has no bearing on this discussion. Separate thing. That's
It's
all.
not a burden issue.
Not a burning issue. Good. So
Yes.
now everyone needs to get a copy of this. Did I make enough? Everyone think that we're pretty enough? So, do you have one? Who doesn't have one? Everyone has one?
That's
Exactly one short, which is fine.
Thank you.
Let's get a finish.
You get a full one.
Okay. There's no point. Oh, there's a bunch there. So if we could learn this Daviomi style, so then you would just be we would go through the narration of the Gemara. But the point is, if you don't know the Pesukim, you're not going to appreciate this discussion one bit. So let's learn the Pesukim. There's just a few Pesukim there, and as you can see, the essential words that come into play because the drashas I underlined there for you. So we're holding in Shemos, Perek Yud Beis, Pasuk Ches, and this is telling us when to eat the Korban Pesach. So it says, "Va'achlu et habasar b'layla hazeh." You'll eat the flesh of the Korban Pesach b'layla hazeh on that night. So again, you see underlined on that night. That'll be relevant. That night. Tzli eish u'matos al merurim yochlu. Eat it roasted over fire with matzahs and the maror. Al tochlu mimenu na uvashel. This is not relevant to our drasha here. You can't eat it incompletely cooked or boiled in water. Mavushel b'mayim ki im tzli eish must be roasted on a fire. Rosho al kra'av val kirbo. It has to be cooked in a certain way, like all at once. If you've seen the picture of the stuff, I'm fine. Not a topic. Pasuk Yud. Lo sosiru menu ad boker. You can't leave it over till the morning. So again, that's relevant, right? It tells you the time frame seems to be ending in morning. Vanos menu, that which is left over, ad boker until the morning. Be'esh tisrafu will be burned in a fire. But again, that's a different day. But the first ad boker is relevant. It's telling you, we saw halayla hazeh. This night you must eat it, and it can't be left over till the morning. V'kacha tochlu also. This is how you should eat it. Masneichem chagurim. Your belt should be tied. Naleichem bragleichem. Your shoes on your feet, like your so to speak, your shoelaces tied. If you know what I mean, ready to go. Umakleichem biyedechem. Staff in your hand, like you're ready to make a run for it, because you're ready to go. V'chaltem aso b'chipazon. You have to eat it in haste, but chipazon, that's relevant. So see why the drasha? Because the shas chipazon, the rush happened when they left Egypt in the morning. So you have to eat it b'chipazon in the rush of a parentheses, like the morning rush. That's the drasha. Pesach hu Hashem. It's a Pesach to Hashem. And pasuk Yud Beis, va'avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim b'layla hazeh. I will pass through Mitzrayim b'layla hazeh. That's again underlined because you have a gezerah shavi here, perhaps, between Laila Hazeh and Laila Hazeh. Because when is Laila Hazeh happen? The first Laila Hazeh maybe is ambiguous. It means, loosely speaking, the night of Korban Pesach, Seder night. That's for sure, it means Seder night. But this Laila Hazeh also means on the same night. What happens? V'hikesi kol b'chor be'eretz Mitzrayim me'adam v'ad behema. I will, smite. Love that word. So I'll strike down all people, the firstborns, people and animals. So that happened at midnight. That's very important. Right? Because midnight, we're saying halayla hazeh, and halayla hazeh means at midnight. That would be part of the Gezerah Shavah. So that's the material that they're going to discuss back and forth. So now let's put it aside and keep it handy. We'll put it aside. Look inside the Gemara. Again, let's just see the first, look for a moment, just see it all inside. Base, Amud Aleph, the Mishnah. The Sugi yesterday explained, we're in the middle of Rabbi Gamliel's explanation to his boys, and he says, on line 8, on line 8. Velozil Bilvad, not only here regarding Kriya Shema, every time, every place the rabbi said, Ad Chatzos, you have until midnight, really mitzvasan ad she'elav shachar. You have until the morning time. And what's on that list of things that midrabanan until midnight, the midoraisa until the morning, hektar chalavim ve'evarim, the burning hectares like to make into smoke, haktara of the chalavim, the fats, the chalev, and the evarim, the limbs. That mitzvasan, the mitzvah is ad she'elav shachar, yala amud shachar, until the break of dawn, and all the karbanos that must be eaten in one day, chatas, asham, and toda, those guys mitzvasan ad she'elav shachar. The mitzvah is until the break of dawn. Fine. So now, no mention of Korban Pesach there, and no allusion to Korban Pesach because it's not Nechel Yomecha. So now, Daf Tes, on line 24, the Gemara picks up. It says, "V'ilu achilas pesachim lo katani." Hey, what happened to the mention of the Korban Pesach? Isn't it true the Korban Pesach also is a mitzvah? You have the whole night to eat, the doraisa. It's not including Nechel Yom Echad, it's a new mitzvah. You have the whole night, and the rabbi said you must finish it by Chatzos. So why isn't that in our Mishnah? And Vramini will actually we will bring a contradictory proof text that's from a brisa that shows that it's true what I said, that you have the whole night midoraisa to eat the Korban Pesach, because the brisa says Kriya Shema, Arvis, one thing, the halal b'leil psachim, the halal that you say on Seder night, which is intimately tied in to Korban Pesach. So it's Korban Pesach. It's like Korban Pesach, so to speak, subsidiary to it. V'achilas Pesach, and the eating of the Pesach, mitzvasan, it's mitzvah, meaning the Korban Pesach, the mitzvah of eating it. Ad shi'aleh amud shachar. You have until the break of dawn. So you see black and white that the Korban Pesach is till the morning time. We know that it's in the Rabban until Chatzos only. It belongs in our Mishnah. Why isn't it there?
And that was a brisa, sorry.
That was the brisa from Kriya Shema. It starts and ends with Shachar. Hashachar. Question mark. Hashachar and the brisa. Question mark. It's a contradiction. So Amar Rav Yosef answers this contradiction by saying Lo Kasha. It actually there's no contradiction here. There's a contradiction, but it's not the Lo Kasha is not difficult. No, we can resolve this problem. There's no problem here because it's actually machlokas tanaim. Ha Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Ha Rabbi Akiva. One shita is like Elazar ben Azariah, and one shita is like Rabbi Akiva. To the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected. You can never be. You can't be medayik either way. You know, it says this and that, like ha, here and here. I don't think there's a rule where you can really know from what we said so far which source is attributed to the first name, which source is attributed to the second name. It's not like that. You know, it doesn't mean that since Elazar ben Azariah is mentioned first, it must be like the first shita, or since Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was mentioned first, it must be going the most recent thing we said. I don't think it's like that. I don't think. In any case, here we'll see what happens. The Tanya, we have a brisa which explicitly says the machlokas in one together between Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah and Rabbi Akiva. Because the pasuk says, so the brisa begins with the word va'achlu. Okay, va'achlu et havasar b'layla hazeh. That's the first pasuk in Ches. You got to underline over there. You'll eat its meat of the Korban Pesach on that night, meaning the Seder night, the 15th of Nisan. So what does on that night mean? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Omer Ne'emar Kan. It says over here, pasuk Ches. The first time the line there for you, it's Ne'emar Kan b'layla hazeh. And also with Ne'emar lahalan, it said a little later on, I think the pasuk Yud base. Again, halayla hazeh, va'avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim, halayla hazeh. I, Hashem, will pass to Eretz Mitzrayim on that night. and he understands that what's called a gezerah shaveh, like the same turn of phrase twice unnecessarily, saying it twice, tips you off to the fact that they're connected. How are they connected?
Has it be unnecessary?
There's a drush here, so it's yeah, the la hazeh, hazeh is not necessary exactly. So I don't know if it has to be necessary, but I think yes. Here it definitely is, didn't need to be, and the fact that it's exactly turn of phrase twice tells you it's coming to add something. Malahalan, just like over there in the first case, up higher up. I'm sorry. Malahalan on the second case, where it says I'll pass through Egypt b'layla hazeh, means ad chatzos, afkan. So too here in our case of our first pasuk in pasuk ches, when it says b'layla hazeh, you should eat the korban pesach ad chatzos. You have until chatzos. Okay. There is a bit of a question which I don't want to get bogged down now, which is I'll just say the kasha, and I don't have a good answer, and I don't want to get bogged down by it. If you want to be very technical, the moment of killing the firstborn happened at the moment of chatzos, not in the period until chatzos.
Yeah.
And he kind of obfuscates that by saying ad chatzos. It's a kasha. To be honest, the kasha is probably better than the teretz, but it's a kasha. They ask it, they answer it. Let's not get bogged down by that right now. I don't have a good answer. I don't have a great answer for it. So that's that. But anyways, that's Rabbi Nazari says it's a gezerah shaveh. Halayla hazeh, just like halayla hazeh refers to Hashem going out at midnight, so too the time frame is at midnight. Okay, and again, the kasha could be a different way of asking the same kasha, maybe even stronger, perhaps, is who says it's once you understand that once you wiggle out of the issue of Hashem did it at an instant, and of course it's not shaykh to say eat the korban pesach at an instant, it's the whole animal you have to eat. But who says it has to be from the first half until midnight? Maybe it's from the midnight and onwards, for argument's sake. Another kasha to ask. Again, interesting, but
Death doesn't generally occur in 1 split second either, because even if a person stops breathing and so on,
he's actually making a good
there
point.
is a time frame until a person's actually clinically dead.
Yeah, it's actually the kasha is stronger than you understand. You shouldn't shake your head because it's true. No, why is it true? Because it says they were ghosts. Like it says they were in the death throes till the morning, so everyone could see. So they actually did linger about. That's how Maseches Smachot or Smach. It's all Maseches Smachot. It's called Maseches Smachot. That deals with the rules of ghosts. How do you people on their deathbed and the last moments. Those dinam. Then it starts with a drush. It starts with the midrash that says this point that Hashem got at midnight, but they were gasping for breath, so to speak, till the morning, and everyone could see. Anyways, also another topic. I don't want to lose. There's like anything in the Gemara. When people say you could learn Gemara, one daf of Gemara for your whole life, it's actually literally true. There's infinite complexity here. But I want to just stick to the main point. Let's get the chocolate Torah.
So there's obviously a big connection between eating and the death of the Mitzvah.
Eat themselves to death.
Here we are having a party and we're watching them die.
Well, we weren't watching them die, but they were dying while we were eating. Well, maybe not.
We said she wrote the something, so that we're allowed them.
Yeah, that's all these interesting questions. Let's just stick to the main way. Really, there's enough to worry about. Just getting this story straight here. But as we've been eating the first half, then maybe dawn on the second half. It's not exactly the same time. But anyways, fine. So Elazar Nazariah understands that Ad Chatzos is gezerah shaveh, just like Hashem was at midnight, so to the time frame for even the korban pesach is bound by midnight, and that's like our Mishnah. Meaning our Mishnah also held that midnight is the cutoff, and therefore it doesn't belong on the list of the Mishnah. Things that happen until the morning. Now Rabbi Akiva doesn't agree. He holds like the Brachos that it's the whole night long. Amar le Rabbi Akiva, v'alo kfar nemar. It says. Rabbi Akiva says, but wait a second. It also says you have to eat it b'chipazon, and that's also stands for redundant because it said you have to eat it dressed ready to go. So what's this chipazon telling you? It's also a drasha. It's not a drasha of gezerah shaveh. It's a different drasha that it tells you. It tells you ad shat chipazon, that the time frame continues until the moment of the rush. Chipazon, the moment of haste was daybreak. So you understand the actual chipazon tells you you eat it until Chipazon moment. Chipazon moment is when they ran out in the morning time. So you have the whole night till the morning time, says Rabbi Akiva, to eat your Korban Pesach. So now we have two now remember I mentioned the idea of internal consistency. So now we're going to have to deal with what's this halayla hazeh business with Rabbi Akiva, how does he deal with it, and how does Rabbi Elazar deal with the Chipazon issue. Now the former won't be that big a deal, the truth is, because halayla hazeh, Gzeir Shaveh, the Yinim is Torah for. So, but anyway, let's see inside. So, we'll have to square away what each one does with the other one's drasha. So, in Cain, if that's true, Matam Lomer Balayla, the Bryce is still talking and it says, like turn the tables on Rabbi Akiva. Listen, Rabbi Akiva, we have this unnecessary mention of the Laila Hazeh business that was contextual, it was eating it at night. So, what's the Laila coming to add to you if you don't eat it for the Gzeir Shaveh, Rabbi Akiva? So he answers, Yachol. Now the word Yachol, in I guess old rabbinic literature, it introduces. It's very misleading because modern Hebrew doesn't use it this way. Yachol introduces something called the subjunctive mode. I don't know if that means anything to you. Not grammarian. It's almost like a counterfactual. Like it means it would be possible for you to make this it's possible at the Yachol commonality for you to misunderstand it in this way. But don't. That's what Yachol says. It's in the Haggadah, for example. In the Haggadah, Yachol Rosh Chodesh, you might think, like you might erroneously think that you could start saying the mitzvah from Rosh Chodesh. Like Yachol, so that's what Yachol does. Sometimes we talk about like Hashem Kavi Yachol, like as if he did have arms, whatever the story is, but he doesn't, of course. So here, Yachol, if without the word Laila, that the word Yachol, the word Laila is coming to something which you might have otherwise incorrectly deduced. Yachol, what you might have thought had it not said Laila, is Yehinechel Kakachim B'yom. You might have thought the same way all other karbanos. When is the kickoff time for eating the korban? After hakrava, once the blood's been offered, and it's good to eat. That's the matzir. But not true by korban pesach. The korban pesach, we said, that's my board here, but the first 7, shas hakrava, once the blood's been offered, it's mutter to eat already. But not korban pesach. Korban pesach, you can't eat the dal when it's offered. You must eat it only from the nighttime. So Rabbi Akiva says, if it didn't say eat it at the night, you might have thought already eat it from Yudal at afternoon. And that is almost the isurim of chametz kick in already by then. And so it's like, hey, it makes perfect sense, eat it by then, perhaps. The Rabbi Akiva therefore says the Laila mention is not because they're Shabbat talk. It's just to tell you that you can't start until here.
So the second Laila would be the extra one, and that would be for future generations that we should do. The first Laila you need to teach that time in Mitzrayim. That it should be.
Why is that? Second of Malala is that?
Is that what the idea is?
Well, because Hashem is trying to tell you, the second time Hashem is saying a new thing. Right? The first time it says, you should eat it this night, and not this day. The second one is Hashem saying, and I'm going to pass through this night, but this might be a question still. But the night time Hashem telling you that, like tonight, here I come to do Machas Bechoros. So without they would know when he's coming to do it. That's necessary, I guess. Right? So, that's what Rabbi Akiva says, the ninth part you need, because otherwise you might think you could eat the korban pesach like every other korban from the afternoon after Shas HaKrava once you've offered it. So again, Yachol, you would have thought, Yehinecha, let it be eaten kekachim, like any other korban, the yom, during the daytime, Talmud Lomar, and then the structure of the Mishnah. A Yachol is always followed by a Talmud Lomar. Yachol, you might have thought erroneously, ... And therefore, Talmud Lomar, the pasuk comes to teach you not that way, because it says Balayla. It tells you Balayla nechal. By saying Laila, it tells you Balayla hu nechal. It may be eaten during the night, v'lo b'yom, but not in the preceding day. And the brisa. So now we've squared that away, but the Gemara picks up with a loose end still. It says Bishlama. Again, now Bishlama is always followed by an Ella. So Bishlama means, okay, this makes sense to me. I'm cool with this. Bishlama, blah, 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 blah. Ella, but what about this? That's that. So here's Bishlama, everything is like Bishalom, everything is cool. The Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, the Islay Gezer Shava, he has the Gezer Shava, and therefore Itzrich Lemichtav Le Hazeh. Therefore he needs the word not just Laila, but also Hazeh. In other words, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah would also agree that the Laila tells you not the daytime. But what is Halayla Hazeh? The Hazeh is also superfluous. So according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, it's not superfluous. Laila Hazeh is the extra word telling you Gezer Shava, just like Hazeh, Hashem will go out, Laila Hazeh, and at midnight to do Makas B'choros. So too, Laila Hazeh, you must finish eating, like the, so to speak, the Laila tells you don't start before the beginning of night, and Hazeh tells you it finished by midnight. So that's cool. Laila has its function, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and Hazeh has its function. Again, the word Laila Hazeh is superfluous because in context we're making Pesach Seder, it's saying eat the Korban Pesach. So the word Laila, everyone agrees, tells you don't eat it here like every the Korban Shatz Akrav, but wait till the 15th when the night begins. And that's the word Laila. And Hazeh tells you the same way Makas B'choros happened at Chatzot, so too the deadline for eating your Korban Pesach is Chatzot. That's cool. Bishlama, it's cool by Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. What's Rabbi Kiva going to do? What is his deadline going to be? What's going to? Oh, I should say that. What's Rabbi Kiva? What's the Hazeh coming to do? What's Hazeh doing there?
And how does Eliezer ben Azariah know that the deadline is Chatzos? Maybe the time to start eating is Chatzos.
Actually, that's a separate kasha. It's like they asked that kasha. They should have asked. It's around, but like the answer is just going to be technical. I'm like, it is. The answer is just technical. It's not. I don't have a great answer.
Okay.
Okay? He knew it. Fine. So that's again. Bishlam Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. It's cool by Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The Islay Gezer Shava. The Hazeh is to function for the Gezer Shava. Itzrich lemichtav le Hazeh. He needed it. Itzrich again, like the itpael in Aramaic is like the nifal, the passive in Hebrew, meaning itzrich. It was needed lemichtav to write lay to him Hazeh, the word Hazeh. That was necessary to teach you the end time. Ella, which is the Ella is the follow-up word of Shlama. But Ella, Rabbi Akiva, but what does Rabbi Akiva need that Hazeh for? Hi Hazeh, my avid lay. What does it do for him? Or literally, what does it do for him? What's the function of the Hazeh in the Pasuk Ches, if you don't need it for Gezer Shava? So he says, Rabbi Akiva would answer, L'ma'ute laila acher. It comes to exclude another night, meaning the night of the 16th. All it said is, if it would have just said, don't eat it at night, so what might you have thought? Okay, I won't eat at night, it's a nighttime korban, whatever, for whatever reason, therefore I'll eat it Leila Seder, and if I can't eat Leila Seder, I'll eat it the next night. And why not? Other Kachim Kal, you have 2 days, which is usually day, night, day. Okay, so here you can have a day, so it'll be night, day, night. Perfectly reasonable, says Rabbi Akiva. And therefore it says, Hazeh tells you, no, it's this night, the 15th, and not the next night of the 16th.
No other.
Right, nothing right, exactly. So part of the reason why I went through this whole rigmarole of 2 days with you is you understand that other Kachim Kalim, everything below the line, is 2 days. So that should apply to the Korban Pesach also. If I get back, I'll tell you, I spoke it over the Rav today. He didn't like it at first, so I convinced him that it's a rule. Anyway, don't forget that. That's just Joel Padowitz Kiddush. Pasha Shalom Gemara here. Lemute Laila, so he says, El Rabbi Kiva, hi Hazeh, my avidlei. What does the Hazeh do for Rabbi Kiva? Lemute Laila Acher. To exclude the second night, who the Asa. It is coming for that. Remember Asa we had not long ago in the previous Amud, people being Asa coming to Babel. So it comes for that reason. So why? Because Salka Daita Chamina, that's the Samach Dalal there. That means Salik. Salka means like to go up. Date to your mind, like the thought might jump up into your mind. Amina, you might say, you might erroneously think this erroneous Havamina if it didn't box you in. So that's a very common phrase. Salka Daita Chamina. You might have thought to say had you not, proscribed your saying that. Hol the Pesach Kachim Kalim. Listen, since the Pesach is a Kachim Kalim, like those ones, Ushlamim Kachim Kalim, and I could say this 3 different ways. they all end up the same way, which is Pesach is very reasonably equated with a Shlomim. If you learn Pesach you see, like a Pesach gone wrong just becomes a Shlomim. So it really is almost like a Shlomim waiting to happen. Or it could be that Shlomim is the grandfather of all, like, these are all kinds of versions of Shlomim. Shlomim is like the granddaddy of all Kachim
What's
Kol.
Kachim Kol again?
These lesser holy Karbanos. This category, the category below the line, if you will. So, whether it's a direct comparison of Pesach to Shlomim, because Pesach is a kind of Shlomim, or it's a quasi-Shlomim, I would say Pesach is a quasi-Shlomim. But anyways, whatever it is, doesn't matter. The point is, it'd be perfectly reasonable to think that the din of Pesach and Shlomim are very similar, the Korban Shlomim. Ma Shlomim, just like a Shlomim is Nechal Nishnei Yom V'Layla Echad, you have 2 days and a night in the middle. My picture there, right? Two days on either side of the, right, and the night in the middle. So you might think the same kind of thing would apply to a Pesach. Af Pesach, same goes for Korban Pesach. Nechal Shtei Leilos, you eat it in 2 nights. B'makom Shtei Yamim. So you can't have it. It says you can't eat it until the nighttime. But you might think, okay, so it'll be night, day, night. 2 days, just like the regular Shlom is day, night, day. And therefore it should be eaten in you might have thought erroneously to say it'd be night, day, and then night again. And even if you can't eat the day in the middle, at least have 2 nights. The 15th and the 16th, the
So
night.
you wouldn't be able to eat it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, the day would be cut out because of the first pasuk, Laila, tells you no daytime, but maybe that Hazeh, at least 2 night times you would have.
Then you would go to eat it in the day. That's
Yeah, it'd be on off. It'd be weird, but that's you might think that. So Kamash Malan also is like the other side of the pair, like the Sakadat Chamina. You might have thought blah blah blah, but therefore Kamash Malan, Kamashma.
It's mushroom.
Yeah, Ka is like it does. Mashma is like be understood, like Shameh, you hear it. Lan to us. It becomes understood to us. It's mashma to us, it's clear to us, understood to us. But Laila Hazeh, no. It means just the first night. Laila Hazeh hu ne'achal, the 15th at night you do eat it. Me'no ne'achal b'laila acher, but you can't eat it on the 16th at night. So that's again, the kasha was, big picture. The kasha was, what did the word Hazeh in Pasuk Ches for? According to Bishlama, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah has it tell you the end time at midnight, because of Gzeir Shabbat. Rabbi Kiva doesn't have that, so he needs Hazeh. He tells you, if you didn't have Hazeh, you think very reasonably that you have 2 nights, the 15th and the 16th, so here not like that. And so once that's true, so now the tables will turn back to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah and say, okay, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, how do you know that you can't eat it? Maybe it's true to Chatzos, but maybe the same way all other Kachim Kolim have 2, periods. So let it also be perhaps the second night on, the 16th, also maybe till Chatzos or something. How do you know not? So Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says that would be reasonable, except, but the pasuk also, another pasuk you also underline there, it says, V'lo susiru ad boker. Don't leave it over till the morning. That means it can't be left over till the morning. So the deadline is come already on the morning of the 15th. So then the kash will turn back to Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva, what are you going to do with that? You have it. So he would tell you, Rabbi Kiva would say, Ima hasam hava, if only that was all I had to work with, hava mina, I would have said, my boker, when it says don't leave it over till the morning, we mean not the morning after the night of the 15th, but the morning after the night of the 16th. Boker sheni. And so then, if that's true, what's Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah going to say? He says, no, the rule is, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says the rule is, Amar Lachan, Kol Boker, whenever it says Boker, it means Boker Rishon, it means the first in the morning, not the second one. And obviously Rabbi Kiva doesn't agree with that. So that's how, by the way, that last step I want to slow down and reverse for a second. If you think about it, whenever you have these, almost every time you're going to have one of these, someone's going to drush and someone does it, so you're not going to be lined up. It'll always be, how do you square away this? And if he answers, then the ping pong ball will go, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? It always be, an odd, it'll never square up. Usually the last move is, the last move says, well, I need that to teach me such and such, and he says, well, I don't need it to teach me that, because I would never think that anyway. That's a dumb thing to think. That's how it usually ends up. Right? Or it's an unnecessary, why would you think that? So that's what happens here also. The last thing Rabbi Elazar says is, like, No, boker means the morning. It doesn't mean the next morning, and therefore I don't have to say it. So that will be the end of the sugya. That's the story. And I guess we'll talk about this year moving around. So, okay, very good.
Perfect time.